From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
On the show tonight, the heated debate between Mamata and the Enforcement Directorate in court. And all eyes now remain on Supreme Court's hearing tomorrow. At 8:30 tonight, while the Indian Army has made it completely clear that Operation Sindoor is on, Lashkar has now issued a Pahalgam-like threat yet again. And at 9 p.m. tonight, my colleague Niranjan and Abhishek get you the big debate on the Iran uprising and if a strike is now imminent. Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last you saw a chief minister barging into a room where there is an ongoing investigation that has taken place? What unfolded in Kolkata this week poses a very, very uncomfortable question for India's constitutional order. The question is, how far can political authority really stretch before it begins to intrude into the functioning of law itself? The immediate trigger in West Bengal was a search that was conducted by a federal agency, that's the Enforcement Directorate, at the premises linked to a political consultancy firm called I-PAC. Mind you, this was a political consultancy firm and not against a political party. These searches were a part of a long-running money laundering investigation, and that was tied to the coal smuggling case. Such searches are certainly not unusual and legal in nature, nor is it political anger over them. But what has no recent parallel is the manner in which the search was interrupted. The sitting Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, arrived at the site, and when Enforcement Directorate officers were in the middle of documenting and extracting digital material, that's when the Chief Minister entered accompanied by state officials, including the Chief Secretary, and left with the files and devices while the operation was still in progress. It was Chief Minister's direct physical intervention into an active investigation conducted under a parliamentary law. The agency has now told the Calcutta High Court that the search had to be terminated and no seizure could be completed because the chain of custody was broken mid-search. A chief minister stepping into a live search and removing material rewrites the basic understanding of how investigations function, and that too in a constitutional system. The implications extend well beyond this case. Central agencies rely on the state police for security as well as cooperation. If those same police can be deployed to interrupt, to retrieve, or overriding an ongoing operation, the authority of any investigation touching political power becomes uncertain. Mamata Banerjee has framed the entire episode as a resistance to political targeting ahead of the elections. The argument will play out in the court as well as in public debate. The precedent, however, has already been set. Once executive power is seen overruling the investigative process in real time, the distinction between the state and the subject of investigation becomes to dissolve. In a system which is built on due process of law, that, ladies and gentlemen, is certainly a dangerous moment. Can you really do politics on every possible issue? And tonight, the debate is also on the dangerous precedent that has been set out.
The standoff between West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the Enforcement Directorate continues. The court dismissed a plea by the Trinamool Congress seeking protection of its confidential political data. This after the ED made a stunning claim: nothing was seized during its recent raids. But far from closing the controversy, this development has only intensified the political firestorm. This with the ED accusing the Chief Minister herself of walking away with key evidence. The agency insists the raids had nothing to do with the Trinamool Congress and that the targeted individual, Prateek Jain, had not even approached the court. They argued it was inappropriate for a third party to claim ownership over data during someone else's investigation. The TMC plea was dismissed accordingly. But this is far from the end of story. The ED has already approached the Supreme Court seeking a CBI probe into this alleged interference and evidence tampering. With the Supreme Court set to hear the ED's plea as early as tomorrow, this high-stakes drama is far from over.
Tausif, I want to begin by asking you, the search was linked to I-PAC, which happens to be a political consultancy firm, of course engaged by the Trinamool Congress. But why exactly would the Trinamool Congress be so very worried or concerned about a search that is being carried out at a political consultancy firm?
No, it is not that plain that I-PAC is a political consultancy firm. I-PAC is the information repository of Trinamool Party. I-PAC has all the data, all the strategies, all the blueprint that Trinamool Congress is going to use in the election.
Are we to believe, Tausif, that a party which has been in power for this long would actually believe that a consultancy firm is going to carry out a full strategy and every possible secret of winning an election would be handed out to Prateek Jain by Mamata Banerjee? Are we to really believe that?
No, you will have to believe it because it is the same firm which brought Mr. Modi to power in 2014. These are the people, they engage field workers. These field workers who are not connected with Trinamool Party and who are not the locals of any area. These people engaged by the I-PAC or political consultancy firm, as you're saying, go door to door. They work on the field. They collect data. They collect the data with regard to the current, the incumbent MLAs or MPs or the leaders.
So there is nothing wrong. So let's understand this. So Tausif, perfectly fine. You have laid out the mechanism, the working mechanism of I-PAC. That's very clear. None of us have any doubt about that. So what really provokes the sitting Chief Minister, and not just the Chief Minister, Tausif, here the entire state machinery, which includes the Chief Secretary. The Chief Secretary has also been brought in. The West Bengal DGP is also brought in. The Kolkata Police Commissioner is also brought in. If this was only supposed to be a party affair, then why was the government of West Bengal brought in?
Now you see, if the union government, union agencies are used by BJP under the garb of conducting a raid.
By that logic, Tausif, Nirmala Sitharaman should have also been there. Now, if that was the case, if I have to go by your logic, by simply placing that logic, the Enforcement Directorate reports to Nirmala Sitharaman, does not report to Amit Shah. Secondly, by that logic, Nirmala Sitharaman should have actually gone in the same jiffy, just in the same speed like Mamata Banerjee, and stood next to the Assistant Director of the Enforcement Directorate saying that, look here, you are my boy, you are going to carry out this investigation. Just the way the Chief Secretary was told by Mamata Banerjee, I believe the Enforcement Directorate should have also done the same.
So that is Nirmala Sitharaman's prerogative. What is ED doing? They are saying that I am conducting a raid. ED is supposedly conducting a raid of a scam which is 10 years old. They are saying cold scam, 10 years old. FIR was registered 6 years ago. They have woken up now, just 1 month before election. They have gone to only Trinamool parties to collect the data relating to the Trinamool party, which will help Trinamool in election. If Trinamool is devoid of those data, obviously Trinamool will be in the
Fair enough. That's a question that I was as it is planning to ask the BJP here. We cannot be blind to that. I was as it is planning to ask Sanju Verma, but what you're not answering is the need. It's what you're not answering, Tausif. Don't worry, I'm going to ask these questions to the BJP also, but you are not answering my simple question as to what was the need of the Chief Minister to be there. I'll come back to it.
The
But,
party
let me
supremo
take,
man,
you have a
party
pertinent point
is
here.
not only a
You have a
chief
pertinent
minister,
point, and
she
as
also
someone who has
supremo
covered
of
the
Trinamool
Enforcement
party.
Directorate also,
She went
Sanju
there
Verma, I also
to
want to
protect
really
her
know,
party
a Hawala
data.
transaction, a supposed alleged Hawala transaction that takes place during the Goa elections. Now, years later, the Enforcement Director now wakes up, says that, okay, look here, we have got real evidence right now. Hence, now we want to go and get hold of them. Which Hawala transaction details or the transaction that you would be basically getting from I-PAC's office sitting years later when the transaction allegedly took place during the Goa elections? What was the Enforcement Directorate, or for that matter, the central agencies were really doing all this while?
Shravan, I did not interject the TMC. He got a free run and I need to put my points without being heckled. You've asked a very pertinent question. First and foremost, hats off to the Kolkata High Court for dismissing Mamata Banerjee's petition saying, ED snatched away my important documents on the 8th of January and I need those documents to be protected.
Tausif, I did allow you, I did, Tausif, listen. See, Tausif, please understand one thing. Tausif, I asked you those questions. You got 1 minute, hold on. Tausif, please understand one thing. Trust me. It does not work like that. You want the other person to overrule by simply shouting at you, does not work. No one really understands the point that you're making. Let Sanju make the point. Let Sanju make the point. You made your point. Let her also respond.
Dismissing and disposing of.
Let her at least respond. Let her at least respond.
Yeah. First and foremost, thank you, Kolkata High Court, for calling out the bluff of the very incompetent Mamata Banerjee. The matter is now in the Supreme Court. Both sides have filed petitions and let's wait for what happens. But let me say one very important thing. Shravan, Mamata Banerjee is not an isolated case when it comes to brazen thuggery, brazen demonization of India's institutions. She says, I don't need the border security force at the borders. After the Birbhum massacre in 2022, she said, I don't need the CBI, I don't need the CRPF during Panchayat elections. And every time, in fact, I would like to take your audience back to June 2023. After the Panchayat elections were over, the Supreme Court was hearing petitions against electoral malpractice and it told Mamata Banerjee, law and order is a state subject. If you cannot maintain law and order, let us know. We will find an alternative mechanism. No less than the Supreme Court of India has castigated Mamata Banerjee, calling out her brazen electoral thuggery and incompetence again and again and again.
Sanju.
But my final point, Shravan, please. My final point is this, Shravan. Supreme Court will take cognizance and say what it needs to say. But let your audience know one thing. How can Mamata Banerjee, the sitting Chief Minister of West Bengal, barge into the investigation site, vanish with electoral and physical and, electronic evidence pertaining to the case? The DGP Rajiv Kumar is looking on as the mute spectator because he's an acolyte of Mamata Banerjee. And then Mamata Banerjee has the audacity to play victim after threatening the Enforcement Directorate.
Both of you.
ये तो अच्छा हो गया. चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका. चोरी भी, सीना जोरी भी, और फिर उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे.
That's a valid question. That's a valid question. But Sanju, just like Tausif, very conveniently dodged my question when I asked him what is the need of the Chief Secretary to be there, and more importantly, if it is a political consultancy firm, it has got nothing. It's a party affairs. Then what is the government of West Bengal really doing? I'm also asking you this question, Sanju. Back in December 2017, and between 17 and October 2020, that's when those illegal excavation was taking place, the theft of coal was taking place, Anup Majhi was basically involved. Now, I just want to simply understand, a Hawala transaction allegedly takes place during the Goa elections. In fact, it goes from Kolkata to Goa and it is given in cash, allegedly received by I-PAC. I want to really understand what was the Enforcement Directorate really doing all this while. The Goa elections got over, There is a Goa
Please
chief
come
minister
in.
that has been in place. There is a Goa government that is basically functioning all this while. I just simply want to understand, what will they essentially get now? And more importantly, all these years, now, in fact, they say that, look here, we have got the Hawala
Someone, you have
operators.
to allow me to answer.
They have got the Hawala operators. Now, it's the Hawala
Shravan.
operator statement versus what the I-PAC guy is going to say.
Shravan, I just need, 45 seconds. First and foremost, let's get one thing very, very clear. The Enforcement Directorate is not sitting on trial. On trial is Mamata Banerjee. On trial is Deepak Agarwal, the MD and CEO of Shakambari Group, who has been stealing coal from Eastern Coalfields Limited, which has its main offices and factories in West Bengal, and the Hawala link is that I-PAC's Prateek Jain was funneling and routing the illegal proceeds of crime belonging to Deepak Agarwal's Shakambari Group.
Right.
That is how Prateek Jain and I-PAC come into the picture. And I want to tell you one thing. Is there a rule, Shravan, you are such a seasoned journalist, that if the coal scam FIR was filed 6 years or 7 years, I say even if it was filed 25 years back, is there a rule that 6-year or a 7-year-old case cannot be tried? Narendra Modi was tried from
That's
2002.
Not, okay. Now, again, very conveniently, you're very, that was a convenience ignorance of what I said. I'm not saying that you can't investigate. I'm not saying that the trial should not happen. All that I'm simply asking is purely from the evidentiary value. I'll come to that. Perhaps I'm getting into the granular detailing here. But Piyush Joshi, I want to bring you in. Piyush, this entire cacophony that happens ahead of any election, it's a legitimate question that perhaps Tausif is asking Sanju Verma that what were you doing all this while? If you have so much of evidence, then why did you not take it earlier? All that said and done. If you are so convinced that the Enforcement Directorate is actually a tool at the hands of the centre, and in fact the court has actually taken on the Enforcement Directorate in various other cases also, political cases where the Enforcement Directorate has had a drubbing down. Why is it that the opposition party believes that they can actually go and threaten an officer who's doing his duty, and just for the sake of your political fight, you're actually dragging in the central agency officer, threatening him and telling him that, look here, you can't even do your own duty. What kind of a precedence are you setting out? Because if today Mamata Banerjee does this and she gets away by doing this, tomorrow anyone will do it. And no investigation can actually happen in this country.
Sure, it's a valid question.
All that I'm saying is that if you believe that the Enforcement Directorate is wrong, you have all rights. This country provides you with all rights to drag the Enforcement Directorate to the court and tell them that you have zero evidence. But do it in the court.
The problem with the PML Act, we have debated it a number of times, Shravan. The Act is designed in such a manner that it can cripple a particular political outfit for years altogether without furnishing any credible evidence. And it can put people behind bars for months altogether without even filing a charge sheet. Because this was the Act which was designed to prevent terrorist attacks from happening. This was the Act which was designed to curb the funding of the terrorist organization.
Piyush, it's your alliance partner. Your alliance partner who has done it.
Hold on.
No, on a lighter note, who has done it? Your alliance partner is responsible for it. Your alliance partner is the one who has brought this in.
I understand.
No matter how draconian you call it, if you remember, if you go into the parliamentary proceedings at that point in time, the chest thumping that was actually done by the Congress party at that point in time cannot also be forgotten.
I understood your question and I understood your interjection as well. So let me just give me a minute and I'll respond. The problem is that legal recourse is available to TMC, but legal recourse is also available to the Enforcement Directorate if Mamata Banerjee did something illegal, right? So the case is before the Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court will decide whether there was credible evidence which was taken away by Mamata Banerjee or whether it was a file pertaining to her campaign strategy. That is for the Honorable Supreme Court to decide.
Do you believe that?
But the thing is,
do you believe what she has done is right? No, I'm only asking you a straight question. As an independent, forget about wearing the Aam Aadmi Party hat. Forget about wearing the Aam Aadmi Party hat. I'm just asking as a citizen. As a citizen,
I'm telling you.
Don't take political sides always. Sometimes also think about this, that such is the situation in our country, that a sitting chief minister, because she enjoys certain immunity, she can actually go and just barge into this look at the
Sure,
situation.
that's why I
Imagine,
said, you know,
I shudder to think what that assistant director must be going through. 3 versus the entire state machinery.
You know, Shravan, I got your question the first time and I said that it's a valid question because this is cooperative federalism that we are talking about. But cooperative federalism is only applicable to an extent where the center does not engage in stepfatherly and stepmotherly attitude against the opposition ruled state time and again. And we have seen examples, you know, those 30,000, 40,000 crore rupees allegations that the Prime Minister furnished against Ajit Dada Pawar. Now, Ajit Dada Pawar is a Deputy Chief Minister. He is brazenly claiming in the open, you know, in his election rallies that कि मेरा क्या कर लिया, मैं मेरे ऊपर इतने घोटाले का आरोप लगाया था, अब देखो मैं सत्ता में हूँ. And no ED guy is ever knocking on his door.
Okay.
No ED guy is ever knocking on the door.
Okay, it's not a monologue. Sanju,
That is the problem.
You know,
That is the problem with
on a lighter
the
note,
Enforcement Directorate, and that's why we believe it's a dangerous tool in the hands
Sanju,
of the government, which has a
okay, Piyush,
stepfatherly
you made your
attitude,
point.
and that's why the cooperative federalism is definitely at peril,
Okay.
but it is not because of the opposition ruled state. It is because of the stepfatherly and stepmotherly attitude of the Bharatiya Janata Party
Sanju,
ruled
let me
union
just, on a lighter note, Sanju, hear me out. On a lighter note, I think so. 1 versus 2 is actually good enough. You are basically representing the power of 2 here. So you can go on. So I think so. Tausif is also happy that it's you that he has to take on.
I want to.
Yeah, let her respond. See, let's be as fair as we can. Let's be as fair because see, you know, you both will come with your own set of allegations. My job is to be as fair as I can get.
Thank you. You know, Shravan, I don't mind if on the other side you have 20 people. I can take each one of them on my own. I don't need any crutches. But मेरा सिर्फ ये है, ये
you have the reputation.
My only submission is I should be given time to speak. I don't care. Ugly, you know, on the other side, आप 2 लोगों को रखो या 10 पीयूष जोशी को रखो या
Make your point.
खान को रखो. My simple point is this, and now let me complete because we are having a sensible debate. Fine, for a moment, let me assume that hypothetically, the Enforcement Directorate is biased. The Enforcement Directorate, as you allege, when I say you, I mean the Darbari ecosystem alleges, is a handmaiden of the BJP. But tell me one thing. Who gives bail? Who decides whether somebody who's charged is guilty or innocent? It is the courts. The final arbiter is the Supreme Court. Sonia Gandhi out on bail, not declared innocent. Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, Satinder Jain out on bail, not declared innocent. Mamata Banerjee's closest confidant, Partha Chatterjee out on bail, not declared innocent. Anubrata Mandal, Mamata Banerjee's closest confidant, yet again, out on bail in the cattle smuggling case, not declared innocent. And Mamata Banerjee's nephew, Shravan, Abhishek Banerjee, is out on bail in the coal scam, not declared innocent. तो आप कह रहे हो ईडी भी बीजेपी का हैंडमेडन है, दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट भी बीजेपी की हैंडमेडन है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी बीजेपी की हैंडमेडन है. थोड़ी आप लोगों को शर्म आती है या नहीं? You sit every evening on national television, you abuse Modi ji, you abuse Amit Shah, you abuse CBI, and the Aam Aadmi Party, by the way, the Aam Aadmi Party, by the way, Shravan, arrested Manpreet Singh Badal. Within 2 weeks of taking oath, Bhagwant Mann arrested the former Finance Minister of Punjab, Manpreet Singh Badal, who was then in the Congress, later joined BJP. And when Bhagwant Mann was asked, आपने मनप्रीत बादल की गिरफ्तारी क्यों की? He said, हम क्या कर सकते हैं जी? ये तो कोर्ट ने किया है, कोर्ट से सवाल करिए. मतलब आप करिए तो सही.
You will get the chance. Tausif, I'll give you the chance to respond.
आप करो तो सही और हम करें तो गलत. I just have one thing to say. Under the PMLA, you know this, Shravan, you track the ED so closely, and I'm sure Tausif knows this as well. Just in 10 seconds. Under section 16, 17, 18, 19 of the PMLA, ED has suo moto powers to conduct search and seizure operations and arrest even if it has reasonable reason to believe that there is a solid case. But the ED has not arrested Mamata Banerjee and her Darbaris yet. ED is acting actually with a lot of restraint and very judiciously. यदि ED अपने तक आ गई ना, तो ये जो गीदड़ भपकियां दे रही है ना आपकी ममता बनर्जी, भागना पड़ेगा बंगाल से. But इस बार तो
Okay.
जनता अप्रैल 2026
Okay,
Tausif,
now
Tausif,
can I
can I just bring in an important aspect here, and this is for you, Tausif. Now, this is perhaps something that you can take it forward here. Now, look at what really happened. I'm just putting out some facts for you. The Bombay High Court, in fact, had just ruled out a few months ago with the arrest of the former Vasai Virar Civic Chief Anil Pawar by the Enforcement Directorate as completely illegal. And they had said that there was prima facie, nothing that was justifying the detention. Now, all of this essentially happened, Tausif. The reason why I took this example right now is that the predicate offense, as far as this case is concerned, stems from a CBI FIR that has been registered, right? Which means that you had the opportunity to actually go to the court and tell the court that this case has no value for multiple reasons, reason A, B, C, D, and I'm going in for quashing of the FIR, an option that was perfectly available before you. From what I see, Tausif, I don't see any attempt that has been made by the Trinamool Congress to go and convince the court that bring an end to this, quash this FIR, do not allow the Central Bureau of Investigation to carry on with the investigation because there is no evidence. Today you are saying that you want a political drama. It's like Khala hobe just before the elections, something happens. You need a reason right now. You need a political scapegoat also. ED is a very convenient political scapegoat. Why don't you just drag the ED today by the scruff of their neck and go to the court, tell the court that, look here, it's absolutely nonsensical. They have no evidence whatsoever, and just the matter ends there.
And action has already been taken. Perhaps BJP spokesperson sitting on a channel is not aware. She says Mamata Banerjee is incompetent, but she does not know.
Tausif, let's go beyond. See, Tausif, I'm sure, night after night, Tausif, hold on. Night after night, Tausif, Piyush, and Sanju, night after night we get into this rhetoric. Just hold on. My humble submission here is that night after night, I'll tell you what the people who are basically watching, Sanju and Tausif, please understand one thing. Night after night, the political rhetoric does not find any resonance among the people who are basically watching. Hence, I'm saying that as an anchor, I'm asking you a very specific question because I need the answers here. Don't you believe that the Trinamool Congress did actually have the option of knocking the doors of the court by quashing the FIR that was first registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation years back?
And Mamata Banerjee already did take the action. On the very day when the so-called raid was being conducted, FIRs were filed. Why Sanju speaking? Why Sanju is interrupting me?
Sanju, allow him to respond. Allow him to respond. Sanju, hold on. Allow him to respond and then I got a quick response from Piyush also.
You don't want your viewers to hear me.
Okay, Sanju, I can't hear him. Sanju, please understand. We are going to waste time. Sanju, we are going to waste time. Let's be civil here. Let's allow Tausif to respond. Tausif, and a quick response from Piyush also.
First of all, Sanju said Mamata Banerjee is incompetent, whereas Sanju showed her own incompetence on the channel when she said, court dismissed the petition. No, court disposed of the petition.
Competence or incompetence of Mamata Banerjee would be decided by the people of West Bengal.
Registered an FIR. Mamata Trinamool has already registered an FIR, lodged an FIR with the Kolkata police against ED officers. That matter is still pending. The FIR has been already lodged. See, on the contrary, ED never lodged any FIR.
Okay, again, both of you are shouting. Again, both of you. A reminder to both of you. Please understand, that way we do not come to any... Okay, Sanju, please. I am requesting you right now, Sanju. Please allow him to make the point. Tausif. 1 minute, Sanju, I will give you the chance. Allow me to at least take it forward. I am only asking, Tausif, you didn't understand my question. I'm not saying that you've taken an action right now. That action in itself is quite, dangerous. No,
You have
Tausif,
to
I'm not
keep-
asking
keep
about
Sanju
the
in
FIR
lead.
against. I'm not asking about the
He's
FIR
already
that has
all
been
the
registered
time
against the ED.
interrupting.
I am asking that if you believe that this is absolute political bumcum, there is no evidence whatsoever in this investigation, then why is it, when it was first registered back in the year 2017, why was it not taken into the court that time? Why was a quashing of the FIR not happened? It was allowed, this entire case was allowed to drag all this while. You should have taken it back then.
Abhishek Banerjee,
Yeah.
25 lakh
On
rupees.
8th of
Abhishek Banerjee was
January,
fined
Sanju,
25
stop
lakh
speaking
rupees
over
by
me.
the Calcutta
On
High
8th
Court
of January,
for wasting
on
the
8th of
court's time.
Sanju, please
are you
allow him to
allowing her
speak. Allow
over
him
me?
to speak because I'm
On
running out of
8th
time. I'm running out of time, so I just want a quick response. Quick response. Okay, both of you,
On
please
8th of
understand
January,
here.
FIR was lodged against ED officials saying that they're conducting illegal search in the office of I-PAC and the residence of
Why has
I-PAC
Partha
director.
Chatterjee
On the
not been given a
contrary,
clean
ED
Okay,
sheet
has
by
not
Sanju, I don't
Kolkata
run a
High
school.
Court?
Please understand,
Why has
Sanju and Tausif, please understand I'm not a principal of a school here.
That
Please,
shows that ED has no material.
sometimes I really
If ED had
wonder,
any material,
sometimes
ED would have
Sanju,
lodged a complaint.
Sanju and Tausif, please understand. Please, can I, 1 minute. Please do understand. Sanju, 1 minute, hold on.
Brazen impunity. And you are sitting here and
Sanju
giving
and
me
Tausif.
bhashan on how
So,
great
Sanju and
Mamata
Tausif, can you
Banerjee
please, 1 minute. You both remind me of my days back in school. Because what happens is that in a school, you basically need a class monitor. I don't want to be the class monitor here, try to tell both of you, please be silent, the teacher is coming in. Let's not do it. We are adults. Let's all behave like one. I just want, because I don't have time, so I'll give you 20 seconds each. Tausif, I asked you a far more detailed question here, and the question was with regards to why not do it earlier. I'm not talking about the FIR that has been registered. Don't you believe that you would have actually won the war if there was no evidence, and this was an absolute bull, of a case that was registered? That should have been taken out long back. Pardon my language here.
Today we are discussing that that Mamata Banerjee reached the raid premises, and that was wrong. If that was wrong, my question is, why did ED not lodge an FIR? On the contrary, Mamata Banerjee lodged an FIR against the ED official. Secondly, you are asking why quashing of FIR of the previous FIR, why Trinamool did not do so. No, it is a legal
Piyush wants to
strategy.
also. Okay.
Depending on the case, on the material.
Okay, I just have 20 seconds more. Now, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Both of you don't blame me because I gave you all equal amount of time, but you all didn't want to take it. Just a quick, because I don't want to be so unfair. Just because the Aam Aadmi Party is out of power, Sanju, it's very unfair. Just because Aam Aadmi Party is out of power, you both the people who are basically in power are taking advantage. Today, actually, you should feel bad for Piyush. Not for Sanju Verma of the BJP, Trinamool Congress, Tausif, we should feel bad for Piyush because you are basically not allowing him to speak only.
Shravan, I don't require any mercy on their behalf.
Only the time should be given to you.
Thank you so much. Fully competent political outfit and a national party. The only thing is that, if an agency of mine or if an employee of mine, if I give that person 5,500 tasks and he completes only 50, 12 years down the line, I would rather sack that person, and that's what is the ED doing. 53 cases only in which they have completed the trial, and 47 cases have seen conviction. 5,800 odd cases.
It's almost hijacked right now.
The efficiency of Enforcement Directorate. I think the Home Ministry and the Government of India should be concerned. They should not be brazenly and shamelessly defending the Enforcement Directorate. They should be concerned.
My limited point here has been, Sanju, Tausif and Piyush, my limited point has been this, that whatever may be the merit of the case, whether at all there is any merit in terms of the evidence that has been collected, it's a subject matter that the court should be deciding upon. But the manner in which this has been done, particularly with the Chief Minister barging in, is something that many would say that even if this elections will happen, elections will go. Someone will come to power, someone will be voted out of power. But the fact of the matter is that it has damaging consequences when you actually allow this kind of behavior, or for that matter, allowing this kind of an attitude to be carried forward, because at the end of the day, it is damaging the fabric of this entire investigation that we carry out in our country. No one is going to believe that this is actually possible, and perhaps no officer will have the gumption to carry on their entire investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the first big debate here.